students. On behalf of Sivaraj Homeopathic Medical College, Salem, Tamilnadu. We welcome all on behalf of our chairman, Dr. Shivraj Sanjay sir, our MD, Dr. Shivraj Kalpana madam, and our beloved principal sir, Professor Dr. G. Kannan sir. And we welcome you all for another continuous webinar series of Swara Homeo Gurukul. Let me give a brief introduction about today's speaker and Swara Gurukul. Swara Homeo Gurukul is the dream and vision of an enthusiastic teacher and leading practitioner, Dr. Shekhar Algundgi sir. The Gurukul is located in Sangameshwar Taluka of Ratnagiri district, Maharashtra. And the main motive of the Gurukul is to nurture the budding homeopaths by conducting various workshops and delivering lectures in an eco-friendly and traditional environment. So as a part of our webinar series, today we have an amazing speaker, Dr. Bhanu Chander, BH. He is pursuing his MD. Dr. Bhanu Chander, sir, graduated BHMS from Dev's Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Secunderabad, and he is consultant homeopathic physician for the past 2 years at Sahasra Homeo Clinic and Stores, Hyderabad. Currently, he is pursuing MD in Part 2 from Guru Mishri Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Shelgaon. He is known for his compassion and passion towards the system of homeopathy. Sir is associated with Swara Homeo Gurukul since 2017. So we welcome you, sir, and we are excited to hear a lot more inputs from you. Please, sir, stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Kirtiga, ma'am, for your warm welcome. Ma'am, can I share my screen now?
Yes, sir. Your voice is a little bit breaking. Otherwise, your screen is visible.
Okay. Now, can I share my screen, ma'am?
There is an icon in green color, share. Please click share.
Yeah. But host disabled participant screen sharing.
Just a moment. Are you able to share now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your warm welcome, Dr. Kirtiga, ma'am. And before starting, I need to thank my guru, Dr. Shekhar Algundgi, sir, and Sivaraj Homeopathic Medical College and Research Institute for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I thank Chairman of Sivaraj Homeopathic Medical College, Dr. Shivraj Sanjay sir, and Managing Director, Dr. Shivraj Kalpana ma'am, and Principal Dr. Professor Dr. G. Kannan sir for giving this opportunity. So let me start my session. So today my topic is on understanding of salts from mineral kingdom. Mineral kingdom. Before starting my topic, let me say that what I am going to deal with this in this session. I am going to give brief explanation about the mineral kingdom and the understanding of the salts. Why the salt why there is a need to formation of salt of an elements from the mineral kingdom, what making them to form the salts, and what are the things necessary to become a salt. So these are things and basic knowledge about the chemistry and few drugs I am going to deal in this session. So basically we know mineral remedies and their symptoms and everything. Previous session, Priyanka ma'am said that thematic materia medica in that why this symptom had came, we should know very clearly. Why need to study this mineral kingdom? Because we have to know what making these mineral remedies, these remedies to have that symptoms. So from the source point of view, we have to understand the drug or the remedy and why that symptom is coming in this drug. So for that, I'm going to deal with the chemistry part. Along with the chemistry, how that symptom is coming in this drug, and I am going to say. Before going, ours is a homeopathy system which is a scientific system. So every science usually develops day to day. In the same way, our system developed day to day with many more understanding. In that understanding, our homeopathic system developed as understanding of periodic table. This made very interesting and very important thing in nowadays. And moreover, in the student point of view, understanding the mineral kingdom wise, drug in kingdom wise, group wise, and materia medica wise, it made in the student point of view, it made very easy that exam point of view, it made very easy for student. For practitioners, it is time saving one. Nowadays in the exam preparation, exam paper setting also, they are asking about the kingdoms and the groups and particular drug. So this is the topic which helps the students as well as the practitioners also. Practitioners in what way? Practitioners in saving their time in selection of the remedy, mineral remedy, and it also saves and it also gives the accurate mineral remedy for that patient. So in this way, it is the topic which helps the both student as well as the practitioners. So now let us start the topic. Previous speakers, my senior speakers are beautifully explained about the periodic table and the kingdom differentiation and the rows and the columns. So now let us see how this previous previous sessions, how these are helpful in this session. And one more thing, this is a session very important because further 3-4 sessions are based on this topic only. So everyone need to be very attentive in this session. So here, minerals and the salts. What are the basic qualities of all the minerals in the nature? How we identify that this is a mineral thing, even you put the thing in your hand. Then tell immediately that this is a mineral, how you could. So because how we can know that this is a mineral thing? Because they have the perfect shape, perfect color, perfect structure. These are the very important. This perfectness makes all the minerals. And minerals are available in nature in 3 forms. They are the solid, liquid, and the gaseous. Anytime did you think why the minerals are so perfect in their structure, shape, form, and the color? Did you think? Can you type why the minerals are so perfect in their structure, shape, form, color? Can you type in the chat box? They give and take, they share. Okay. What else? Atomic arrangement. Very good. What else? Why they have perfect shape, structure, color, natural. Okay. What else? What else make them so perfect? Structure, shape, color. What else? Stability. Okay, nice. What else? Okay, nice. Chemical properties and the physical properties. Very good, nice. To be studied. Okay, nice. So now here it comes. Why they have perfect shape, color, structure? Because atomic structure is fixed. I mean, it has fixed amount of electrons, protons, neutrons. Even in the compounds also, they can exist without structure. Okay, nice, nice. So atomic structure is fixed. That means they have the fixed amount of electrons, protons, neutrons. So even in the compound also their atomic or the electronic architecture is fixed and perfect in shape and the structure. So because of this, they have the perfect shape, color, structure, type. This makes them perfect. Okay. So this is a very basic quality of the minerals in the nature. They are perfect and fixed in their structure, shape, form, and the color. Second most important and basic quality in them is they make the compounds. So they make the compounds. What is meaning of the compounds? The compounds means the two or the more elements get together and share their inner resources with each other and try to become complete in their internal architecture. This is very important because the salts are formed by the two or more elements. So this is the basic quality. Because of this thing, they form the salts. The compound means two or more elements get together and share their inner resources. What are the inner resources? Here we have to know. Inner resources is nothing but the whatever electrons, protons, neutrons they share with the opposite element and they form the compound. So sharing is a very basic another quality of minerals. But anytime did you think why they share the electrons? Because in each and every element has internal desire to complete. So they form the compounds. Why they form the compound? Because they have to be complete. Because they want to be perfect. So they involve in the formation of compound by sharing their inner resources like electrons, protons, and the neutrons. This makes everything. So perfect and complete is the two important basic qualities of all the minerals. But there is one question. How we understand these two basic qualities of minerals according to homeopathic point of view? Okay, till now, I think you have understood about the perfect and the complete. Perfect and complete. Complete in the sense, if an element want to be stable, it it should have the 8 electrons in their outer shell. So then only it will be stable and complete. So for getting electrons for that stable configuration, they involve in the formation of the bonds, formation in the compounds. Okay, clear? Is it clear? Let me know it. Is it clear or not? Yes, very good. Okay. Now, in homeopathic point of view, how this perfect and incomplete are seen in mineral remedies. In mineral remedies, superficially they have sadness, grief, jealous, anger. These all things are the emotions which patient in day-to-day practice they come and say us these all things. But we have to understand either it is a sadness, plant sadness, or the grief it is a plant grief, or the mineral grief, jealousy it is animal jealousy, plant jealousy, mineral jealousy. However, mineral person says when we probe deeper, then he will say. But when we probe deep, we can obtain the reason behind them. And that the reason is nothing but issue of incompleteness. See, we have understood that every element wants to be complete. When there is an incomplete issue, incompleteness of issue, then they will see we will see some symptoms like this emotional disturbances or the any disturbances. So as like I am sad because I can't handle the situation. I can't handle the situation. Here they say us about the capability, ability. I can't handle the situation. I am anger because I lack the confidence. I don't have that confidence. I am jealous because I am not able to work perfectly as like him. They compare because they don't have that ability, capability, capacity. This is the talk which we see in the mineral remedies. Lacking something, right? Correct. So here, this is a slide very important one. Structure. You need to understand what is the structure. Structure. Main concern is about lacking, forming, maintaining, and losing structure. We recognize the structure in any case by these four different ways. So here the structure means we have to understand the structure because this is the thing which comes in the mineral remedies or when we study the mineral kingdom, we regularly we see this word. Structure nothing but structure may be the love, care, affection. Structure may be the support. Structure may be the protection or the task or the work or the responsibility or the creativity and or skills. Structure may be the position. If I don't have that love affection, I feel incomplete. This is a structure where it is feeling incomplete. According to that person, what is structure? It is a love. For fourth row elements, it is all about the support, it is all about the protection. For fourth row element, the structure is what? Protection, task, work, responsibility, career, money. Money is the structure for that person. Whenever he doesn't have that money, he, the session is going to end now. So, okay, here structure is money. If that person is not having that structure, money, he feels that incompleteness. He feels that lacking something. So he needs that money. That money support can be given by other element in cations and in salt wise. So here we see the incompleteness of the structure, lacking or the losing of the structure, the issue of development. Issue of development. See, the elements which are present in the third row, they developed up to the love, affection, identity up to only. Whereas the elements which are in the fourth row, they develop little bit and they talk about the security, task, protection, money, career, responsibility. So this is the development issues. So precisely order in talk and in the behavior. We already seen that why they have the perfect shape, perfect color. They talk also in perfect because of the atomic structure. Because of atomic structure, they have the perfect shape, perfect talk. So whenever the patient comes into our cabin, we can recognize that he is a mineral person. He is a mineral. He we can recognize by his dressing, by his sitting in this way because everything is ordered. Everything is ordered. Okay. If the case has all the resources which are matched with one series, that is one row and the one column, then we can choose a single element for him. Okay, here one row and the one column. So all the resources, that means if the remedy is from the third row, first column, or the third row, 10th column, only one row, one column, where we see the solution from that. This is the thing. If the patient is matching with all the issues of the third row and the 10th column, then the remedy is single element. That is silicea. That may be the aurum metallicum. We see single remedies. In the periodic table, we see single remedies and single element remedies and a combination of two or more elements. In this way, we see the remedies. So whenever we're dealing with the mineral case, then we have to see that whether the person is belonging to single row, single column, or the two rows or two columns. In this way, we have to decide the remedies in mineral kingdom. Again, but if he has issue of one or two series, that is one or two rows and the two column, then we come with the remedy is compound. It may be acid, it may be the salt. Example, if you see the remedy calcarea phos, calcarea is belongs to the fourth row, phosphorus is the third row, two rows, whereas the calcarea comes from the second column, phosphorus comes from the 15th column, two columns, two rows, two columns, it is making the salt, calcarea phos. Okay, it is clear? Is it clear? Yes, thank you so much. So this is this one. This is a slide. This is a very important slide. I want to understand you all, because this is on basis of this understanding only all the salts are based on. Here atom, we have to know about the atomic structure, basic chemistry we have to know, because whenever we study the drug, we need to study from the source point, from its basic. So it is a structure consists of the three types of atoms. They are protons, neutrons, electrons. Protons and the electrons forms nucleus, and electrons revolve around the nucleus. Okay. Here in the diagram we see that nucleus is at center, and there are the shells and the electrons revolving around the nucleus. So here we see that the shell represents around the nucleus and consists of the electrons. Shell represents the development. So in the chemistry we see every element electron configuration is increasing. 1, 2, 3, and that means their electrons are increasing. When their electrons are increasing, their shell also increase, because only particular amount of electrons it can be accompanied. Because of this, the rose shell also increases. As the electronic configuration increases, the shell and the electrons also increases. When there is a development of the shell, then there is a development of particular issues according to homeopathic point of view. Like we see if the nucleus has three shells, that means it is a third row. Third row elements are present. 3 orbits are developed. It is third row element, and it has the electrons in that orbit. So electrons represent the capacity of that element to handle the issue. Okay, is it clear? Development, third row, 3 orbits, fourth row, 4 orbits, fifth row, 5 orbits, and these orbits consist of the electrons. Electrons says us about their capacity. regarding that issue, regarding that the third row deals with the love, care, affection, identity. How they deal with that identity, how much capacity they are having. This is all because of the electrons. See, for example, if you take the third row elements, if you take the natrum, if you take the phosphorus, both are belongs to third row. Whereas the natrum has 3 orbits and phosphorus has 3 orbits. But natrum doesn't have identity, whereas the phosphorus has identity. Because this is because of the electrons in their outer shell. Whereas the natrum has only one electron in their outer shell. So that's why the natrum doesn't have that much identity. Whereas phosphorus having more electrons. Because of this, it makes so much communication, so much activity, so much identity it creates because of electrons. Okay. So here we see rows deals with the issues. Hydrogen, here the 7 rows are present. Hydrogen, lithium, natrum, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. Deals with the issues. Every row has particular issue. First row existence, second row suppression, third row identity, love, care, affection. Fourth row it's all about security, task, protection, work. Fifth row, it's all about the creativity and the performance. Sixth row, it's all about the position. So this is the development issue. If the element is up to the third row, then it only deals with this identity. When the element is present in the fourth row, it deals with the, along with the identity, it deals with the responsibility, work, task, security, protection. These all things comes the development of that element. Okay, column, it deals with the how much it deals with how much. That means how much capacity is having that element. Dealing with that particular problem. Here we see the rows. It's all about the here we see about the rows. It's all about the number of shell. Number of shell around the nucleus. Says about the physical property. Physical properties, same physical properties of the all the elements. Now you need to understand that why the natrum, magnesium, alumina, silica, phosphorus, sulfur, and the so here we have to understand that rows. Why that third row having that natrum, magnesium, alumina, silicata, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. Everyone have that identity issue because they have the same physical property. Same issue is present because they all develop up to that extent only. Because of this thing, they all have that identity issues. So when it comes to columns, it's about the number of electrons in their outer shell. Number of electrons in their outer shell. It says about the chemical property. We have to understand this one. Chemical property. What is a chemical property? It deals with the chemistry. That is action, reaction, everything happens. Chemistry. Here some action is taking on. That means it deals with the capability, deals with the capacity. It's deal with the ability. So depends upon the electrons in their outer shell, their capacity deals. If the natrum having the only one electron in their outer shell, so because of this thing, it doesn't have that much capacity in dealing with the identity issue. Where we see the calcarea or the colleagues in the fourth row, they deals with the protection, security, task. Whereas in the same row, in the fourth row, we see the Kali in one end, first column, whereas arsenic in the 15th column. So when we give them responsibility, when we give responsibility to the Kali and the arsenic handles the given work or the duty or the responsibility very well. But whereas the Kali doesn't do that much as the arsenic does, because the electron in their outer shell, whereas the arsenic has so many electrons in their outer shell, whereas the Kali only having the one electron in their outer shell. This makes the capacity, capability, and the ability of that element when they are dealing with that issue. Is it clear? So these are the 2-3 slides which are very important in this session. Is it clear? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Till now we understood that what is the atomic structure, what is the rows, what is column, and everything. For the basically this is a periodic table which we see regularly. This periodic table is what, according to homeopathic point of view, for understanding purpose, they have modified this periodic table into like this: left side element, right side element, center elements. So this is a modified periodic table for homeopathic point of understanding in homeopathic point of view. So salts. Now it comes with the salts. So salts. It deals with the give and take. As everyone said that give and take electrons, as the stability. It's all about the stability, emotional connection. It's all about the balance. It's all about the relationship. It's all about the handling. This is all about the salt. Let me know what are the salts you people know. Yeah, Kali asks. Rama Hariharan ma'am asking about the Kali asks. Kali comes from the first column, arsenic comes from the 15th column. When we give the one thing, responsibility to Kali and the responsibility to the arsenic handles the responsibility very beautifully, whereas Kali doesn't. Why? Because the electrons present in their outer shell makes all the difference. Arsenic have so much electrons in their outer shell, whereas the Kali has only one electron. This says us about the capability in handling that issue, that problem. This is the thing I want to explain about this Kalias. I think it is clear. So natramure. What else? What are the salts you know? Please keep in the chat box. What are the salts you know? Magmure, natramure. What else? Whatever salts you know. Mag salt, very good. Baryta salt, Ars iode, natrum phos, very good, very good. What else? Natrum car, calcarea floor, argentum nitricum, calcarea phos, very good. So here we see the so many common remedies which we use in our day-to-day practice. Calcareas, very good. Strontium car, calcarea sulf. So these are the remedies which we use in our day-to-day practice, and we know very much about these things. Is that only these are the salts? Very good. Beta, natrum, phosphate, mu. Nice. So only these are the remedies which are forming the salts. Why there is only natrum, natrum, phos, natrum sulf? Why can't natrum ars? Why can't other remedies? This is we have to know why only natrum, why only natrum phos, only beretta car, only calcarea phos. what is that making them so particular? Why making that particular decision only natrum your calcarea for this? But there is so many things, so many salts are found. So many salts are found where which we can understand by few examples why the salts are forming, what making them salt, why this calcarea falls, yeah, calcarea ars, calcarea sulf, natrum pure, natrum sulf. Let me see why this only. Salts are the substance consisting of two or more elements bonding chemically. See here the not bond. It is a bonding chemically because there is a sharing of internal resources that are electrons, protons, neutrons, everything. They're going to be exchanged chemically. Each salt wants to be stable. How they become stable? By forming the compound. Each salt wants to be a stable. Each element wants to be a stable. By forming a compound, they form stable element. How they will form a compound? As everyone said, by give and take business, a process of electrons. Process of electrons. I give 2 electrons, you are having already 6 electrons. This makes the stable configuration of 8 electrons in their outer shell. This makes stability. This is the business which happens between these elements. These 2 electrons I give, you take 2 electrons and become the stable, and you give me the 6 electrons and make me stable. This is the thing which happens between the salts. Okay, compounds. It is formed by give and take of electrons in the element. The donor develops the positive charge and the recipient develops a negative charge. The two are held together by attractive forces between the charge. Here example we see sodium and the chlorine, NaCl. This is the thing which forms the salts. This is the cation, this is the anion which combine and forms the salt. Few forms with the 2 elements or more than 2 elements. See here we have to see elements natrum and chlorine, natrum mure, where aluminum silicata, alumina, oxygen, and the silicata. There are the 3 elements which are involving in the forming of compound. Magnesium carbonate, magnesium, carbon, and oxygen. These are the things we have to observe whenever we study nitric acid, NH3, NHO3. So here we have to see the characters of, we have to, from now onward, we have to see why these symptoms, why this symptom is present in this drug, because of these elements. Whatever the characters of this element forming the compound have that symptom. Magnesium symptom, when there is a magnesium car, we see magnesium symptom, carbon symptom, and the oxygen symptoms. When we see the natrum mure, we see the natrum symptoms and the chlorine symptom. This is the thing which making the symptoms, which we making the materia medica of our materia medica. Character of elements which are forming the compounds are present. So whatever the elements which are involving, their characters are present. That is, in homeopathic point of view, their symptoms. We see that element symptoms are present. So here, electrons in the outer shell represent the level of completion of the issue of that row. Here we see the, yeah, as I explained, electrons in their outer shell deals with the capacity regarding that row, regarding that identity. When we see the natrum and the muriaticum, identity is different. When we see natrum, sulfur, identity issue is different because of the electrons. When we see the calcarea and the phosphorus, phosphorus having the more electrons in their outer shell. So it, Kali and the arsenic. So electron, their capacity. That means we have to think the attitude or the behavior or the feeling or coping of that element regarding that issue. We have to think what is the attitude. The elements having the less electron in their outer shell, how will be their attitude? The elements which are present in their outer shell, more electrons. The elements which are having the more electrons in their outer shell, how their attitude. We have to see. This all makes the difference between the two elements. Here, please mute. So here we have to think how elements with a few electrons cope up, how the elements with the more electrons cope up. So we have to see. So most of the elements on the left have the only 1 or 2 electrons in their outer shell. See, whatever the elements which are present in the left side of the periodic table, we see only 2 or 3 electrons in their outer shell. That is, if you see the natrum, if you see the kali, if you see the calcarea, if you see the magnesium, if you see the beryllium, these all have the 2 or 3 electrons in their outer shell. So how will be their attitude? We have to see. We have learned that the capacity and ability and the capability of that element depends upon the electrons in the outer shell. This is, we have to know attitude. How will be that cation attitude? Here, they would feel they are very long away from resolving that issue. See, here we take the same example of natrum mule. The natrum only having only single electron in their outer shell. When dealing with the identity, natrum and the muriaticum both deals with the identity. Whereas the natrum has not having that much capability, not having that much capacity, not having that much ability in dealing with that identity. So what does? It gives that one electron to the whatever the necessary element and become the stable thing. So their attitude is, I am unable to handle this issue. Why I should take the headache? So let me give the whatever the electron present in their my outer shell to the other element and become the stable. So here the inner 8. So they give up by sharing electrons or by taking support of other elements. They are closer to the complete 8 of inner shell. If I give natrum think that if I give the one electron which is present outside, then I will be becoming the 8 of inner shell, which is already complete. Then the complete 8 of the new one. So they do not have the sense of achievement in the issue relevant to that group. So because of this less electrons, they doesn't have that much sense of achievement. That is capability of the handling that issue. So they think that they can't handle the issue. I think so. So they give up. So when there is a no progress in their decision or their capability, then they will give up the electrons. So still now we have seen the cation part. Now let us see most of the anion part. Most of the elements on the right side have more than 4 electrons in their outer shell. More than 4 electrons. 8 is a complete one, where half, more than half, then they have the more electrons. How will be their attitude? How will be their attitude? Let us see. So I am nearly there. I can handle the issue. I can be independent. Just now we seen it is not seen in the cation part. This I can handle the issue. This thing we did not see in the cation part, left side elements, because they don't have that much electrons. But whereas the right side, they have more than 4 electrons. This makes all the difference between the cation and the anion. I can handle the issue. I can be independent. Whereas a cation, they are the dependent, always dependent. They always want the support. Okay. If the elements having the more than 4 electrons in their outer shell, they have the sense of achievement. Sense of achievement. Sense of achievement because they have the electrons. They have that capability. They have that capacity to deal with the issue. So these things we have to see very much important when we study the salts. They have feeling that they have achieved individually and came independently. So they don't want to depend on anyone. So they have achieved because their sense of achievement is more. Because of this, they have that feeling that they have achieved individually. They can be independent. So they don't want to depend on anyone. But see, if they are individually achieved and they can be independent, then why there is a need for formation of salt? Why there it wants to be dependent on the other element? Because there is a less less of 2 or 3 electrons to become that stability, to become that stable configuration. So because that 1 or 2 electrons which it need, it wants to form the salt. It wants to form the compound. So this means because of these things, the whatever the anion part, this even though it has a capacity to develop independently, but it is very much uh, frustrated, very much dicey, very much anger. We see these all the negative things because they have that fear of instability. If I do anything, I would lose that 2 electron which I came from the cation. Because of this fear of instability, because cation may go out, because of this thing they have that fear. Because of this fear, they develop the anxiety, fear, all the emotion, anger issues, irritable. These all things we see the majorly in the anion part. There is a poor cation part we can't see because they don't have that capacity. They can't demand, whereas anion they can demand. But background there is a fear of instability. In right side element we see instability. It is because of fear of losing what they have gained and achieved already. Okay, is it clear till now? Getting everyone? Is it clear? Okay, thank you. So left side is all about the inability. Left side is all about the inability. Right side is all about the instability. This so till now we studied that sense of achievement. Sense of achievement. I can achieve. I can ability capacity. Why this is? We have to understand this also. Why this is? Because here we have to understand about the relationship between the nucleus and the electrons. Nucleus and the electrons. Nucleus always tries to pull electrons towards the center due to gravitational pull. So less the electron, less gravitational pull, electrons holded loosely, structure is loose. So easily electron can lose from the element. So here right side, see here right side, higher the electrons, more gravitational pull. Electrons hold tightly. Structure is dense, tighter. very difficult to lose electrons from the element. So here we have to understand this thing also. Electrons and the nucleus. How much electrons? Less gravitational pull. That means whatever uh, the control, if you see in this context, control towards that situation, the natrum identity is not that much important. It is all superficial. Calcaria, it talks about the protection. It's all about the superficial. Kali, it's also tells us about the duty, superficial. Whereas the arsenic, it also tells us about the duty, but it is very deep, very responsible, very much duty oriented, very much protection. It needs protection because of these high density electrons. Because of this high density electron, they have the attitude of holding back. If they are dealing with that issue about the love, affection, uh, identity, or the career wise task, duty, career, and the creativity, performance. The performance also, in the creativity also, the right side elements, they have the more electrons. So they have that density, tighter, hold back, not give up attitude of the right side element because of these electrons, because of this gravitational. Whereas this one, dependent, support, whatever you do, I will give you whatever you want, please take care of me. This is the left side thing because they doesn't have that much electron, that much gravitational pull, that much holding capacity, holding back things for longer time. Because of these things, they develop all the fears, anxieties, what we see, Kali, Calcaria, magnesium, Beretta, these all things we see. But whereas in this, arsenic, phosphorus, sulfur, everything having the electrons more. This is the difference. When we are studying the cation and anion, we have to see these things also. Okay. How this is understood in human language? Yeah, right. Electromagnetic forces. These all these all things matters. We have studied till now only materia medica. We doesn't study these all things, but these are the things which makes that symptoms. Now getting clear, I think so, everyone. So how this is understood in the human language? Less or the more gravitational pull relates to the possessiveness of the element. That is what I am saying. Possessiveness. See, we study the possessiveness of the elements, their view towards the issues, most importantly their ego. I want to give an example of natrum mure only here. Here we study the possessiveness in relationship in natrum mure. They are very much possessive towards the relationship. Why? Is it because of the natrum element or it is because of the muriaticum element? We have to understand this thing. Natrum mure, of course, they have the possessiveness of the towards their relation, possessive, very much possessive. It is because of the muriaticum one. It's not because of the natrum. Because why? That much possessive, that much holding back? Because, yes, right. Kaliram, Dr. Kaliram, absolutely right. It is because of muriaticum, because it's holding back capacity, because it has that density of the electrons, because their outer shell having 7 electrons. So whatever the identity, whatever the love, whatever the affection we see in the emotional content in the natrum mure because of the this muriaticum. Whereas the natrum, it has less electrons. Whatever, see, most importantly their ego. Here we see the natrum one. Natrum has less ego, whereas the sulfur, which comes from the same row, sulfur is in the 16th column, whereas the first column is an atom, identity. As identity increases, ego increases because their electronic configuration is increasing. Because of this nature, their ego also develops. That's why phosphorus doesn't have that ego, whereas sulfur, so much of ego. Miraticum, so much of ego. Left side elements are left side elements are more clear or fully know how much they are lacking, how much help they need. I am incapable of handling issue. Why should I worry about giving it away? Easy come, easy go. This tells us about the inability. So this one I need to say. See, Natrum knows clearly how much capacity. Calcarea knows how much capacity it is having. So they are clear with their idea. They're clear with their fear. They're clear with their anxiety. So they all are protective. They all are in this way we have to study. Whereas the clearly knows I don't have this much capacity. I don't deal with this love and emotional thing, this protection thing, this security one. I don't have that much capacity to handle this work in the company or in the society. So I don't want to take that responsibility. This one said by left side elements. The Calcaria doesn't take that much work because he knows that Calcaria knows whatever the capacity he having. That's why he will say, don't give me that much responsibility. I'm incapable. I don't have that capacity. Right side element feels that it is easier to achieve more rather than give away what they have secured. They hold on this is the thing we see in the right side of the picture. They are the easy to achieve. They have intensity. They have persistence towards that issue. Have that confidence, that capacity that they can achieve that deal with problem. That's why ask take the so this thing we see in the left side inability and so the inability. So to conversation as a physician should whenever we are dealing with the mineral remedies, when we deal, we have to see who wants, whenever the conversation is going on, who wants, whether the natrum wants, whether the muraticum wants, whether the calcarea wants, whether the phosphorus is wanting. What is that wanted? What is that is wanted? Is it love, care, affection? Is it protection, security, task, money? Is it creativity or the performance? Is it position? What it wants? Who is that giving? Which element Ma'am, please allow me to share the screen. Hello. Please allow me to share the screen. Hello. Hello. Dr. Kirtika, ma'am.
Bhanu, Dr. Bhanu,
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
can share
Yeah,
screen
ma'am.
now.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So here, thank you, ma'am. So here, we have to put that point. Who is giving that love? Who is giving position? Who is giving that position? Either the for calcarea, if you see the calcarea, who is giving? Phosphorus, sulfur, arsenic. Which element is giving? These things, this talk we have to see when we take the mineral case study. So what one goes through in getting. So whenever whatever they get, how they feel. When they are failing, when they are not getting, how they are feeling. When we see the calcarea car, we see when failed state of calcarea car, that carbon nature comes very prominent. Shivering, shaking, palpitations, sweating, everything. Sorry. So here, what he is seeking gives the idea of row. How much he is seeking gives the idea of column. I may develop. Developing. How much need for my development? How much I need? How much I develop? I prefer to third row or to fourth row. How much? What is that he is wanting? Wants that that tells us about the which row he belongs to, where from he is seeking. This says us about the which anion he is seeking for, from where he is needing the help, how much he is seeking. This tells us about the how much, tells us about the column. What he is seeking gives the idea of row. How much he is seeking that gives the idea of column. So in salts, cations are stable than the anions. For example, we take calcarea carbon. Here, calcarea is more stable than the carbon. Calcarea, that's why whenever we see the calcarea car, we see the symptoms of calcarea more rather than the carbon because it is more stable than the carbon. Anions are whenever we study the mineral kingdom, if it is a salt, then we have to see these all the things. Anions are stable than the cation. That means in calcareous drug, we see the sulfur part more prominent than the calcarea because sulfur is more stable than the calcarea. Anion have more stability and more ability to fight than the cations. Cation with the halogen still make them unstable. When there is a combination of two elements which are, when the cation combining with the halogen, natrium mur, the muraticum wants only one electron, whereas the natrium having only one electron outside the shell. This makes them very unstable, very much restless, very much repulsive, very much reactive. Because of this, we see the so much of tussle, so much of uh, emotional instability in the natrium mur. So here, I and you, I bend, whereas U is prominent. When salts come, I. You see the cation part, I, it bends. U is prominent. In the salts, we see the uh, U part is very much prominent. I will be in soric state and says you will understand. Salt dissolves easily. That's why their talk also very much dicey, very much mixed talk, salts. Whereas the metals, they are the firm talk, very much ordered talk, very much grounded thoughts, clear thoughts and ideas when we see the metals. But these things are we will not see in the salts. Salts follow the opinion rather than making decisions or opinions. Whereas the metals, they make the decisions. I is prominent. I make the decision. Whereas the salts, you will make the decisions. Because of this I and you things, these things make the salts very much mixed feelings, whereas the metals only I comes very prominent and I take the decision. I will speak. Talk is grounded expression of form in the metals, whereas these things cannot be seen in the salts. They are sensitive to things they are not received. Whatever the things they are lacking, they are losing, they need it. Salts wants whatever they are lacking. So if we see some of the indications, we have to see mineral understanding of a case if it belongs to the mineral kingdom. Whenever we're dealing with the case, we have to see mineral understanding in the background and the elements experiencing the mineral thing like completeness or the incompleteness, lacking or the losing, incapability, support. These all things we have to see whenever we need to select the salt remedy. First, we have to see these things, later the salt. Okay, these things all present, but all this cationic part, anion part is not there, then it is not the salt. Then it may be other metal, acids, the gases, anything it may be. So then search for the cation or the anion in a case. We won't get both the cation and the anion at a time. We may get the calcarea part once, later on sulfur part. We may get the sulfur part first, later on calcarea part. In this way, natrium part first, or the muriaticum part first. Muriaticum later, calcarea may be the first. In this way, we will get the symptoms. If cations comes first, then search for anion, whether it is present or not. Same, vice versa. If anion comes first, search for cations. Because selection of the mineral remedies is very easy. But if we doesn't have that patient, then we are losing that case. Because if we take the case, in the first visit, we get the phosphorus tinge so much. And again, the patient not getting that relief what we want. When another sitting, when patient comes again, if we take the again, then calcarea part coming prominent. Calcarea part is coming prominent. Initial part phosphorus, later calcarea. Then there is a salt remedy is indicated for that person. In this way, we have to see whether there is an involvement of only one remedy or the more than one element is present. So if cations and anions is present in a case, then it confirmed that it is a case of salt remedy. In case there will be a one issue and two coping mechanism. See, same natrum mule. One issue, one row problem. It is all about the identity. So one issue, two coping mechanism. Natrum first column and the muriaticum comes from the 17th column. Two coping mechanism. In this way, we have to see what are the talk of the person, whether it is belongs to only talking about the only one issue or the two issues, or the one column or the two columns. In this way, we have to see whenever we want to select the salt remedy. Two different issues or two different coping mechanisms. Kali phos, same example. Kali belongs to fourth row, phosphorus third row, and Kali first column, phosphorus 15th column. This runs parallelly while we take the case. Indication of salt in a case, at time we won't be finding both elements of salts in one sitting. That's what I am saying. Calcarea first, phosphorus first, later calcarea. In this way, we have to see elements in a salt may be expressed in any order depending on their current issue or existing factor. See, whenever the talk may be a differs sitting to sitting, because depending on the situation, we will get the talk. There will be a natrum talk comes prominent, initial phase of the case. Later muriaticum part, because this cation part having so much problem. Or that person is prominent with this cation in that situation. Later, after dealing with the cation part, then there is a tinge of anion coming in between. When we catch it anion part, then the anion part is coming. Then cation, anion, both mix and the salt remedy comes. Salt is a conflict between two extremes. So always the salts, major time, the salts are seen extremes of periodic table. That's why cation part, anion part, you need to understand so much. One hand, incapacity and need for support. Other hand, capacity, self-worth, independence. So till now we studied about the salts, basic understanding minerals, how will be they are. Now let us see few drugs. Is it clear till now? Let me know. Thank you so much. See, natrum mure. Let us see the few points about the natrum mure. In next session, there will be in detail about the natrum muriaticum by Gautam. Now let us know few things about the natrum mure. Whatever I do at the end of the day, I will be alone. How much to sacrifice? Helpless, lonely person in the planet. You need to understand the I. How this talk we need to understand. You says you need to understand the I. And I need love, care, affection. This natrum I says that I need love, care, affection. And you need to understand, Miraticum, you need to understand that I need love, care, affection, these things. Then what is a Miraticum talk? It is all about how much I need to sacrifice, how much I need to give, how much love I need to give. This is the thing, dicey thing which we see in the Natrum Muraticum. This emotional instability we see in the Natrum Muraticum. If we ask, example, if we ask them, what if the husband is not there? They will tell, I can't even think, I can't even imagine. Life without him, he is everything for me. This is a thing pattern, that much incapability of thinking also, because they are not such developed. So this is the expression we get. Natram is self-centered, deep awareness to who they are, they know what they want, but you should understand, Miraticum, you should understand what I need, Natram, what they want. They will not tell you, this is their ego, selfish, self-centered ego. These are the things we see in the Natram point of view. And natrum combined with that was natrum combined with halogen. Halogen have the feeling, muraticum have the feeling of backstab, betrayal, and this is the attitude with that natrum's attitude makes them incommunicable. Because of this, there is a so much emotional disturbances we see. In natrum, you have to understand me. I won't tell. In halogen, you will be backstabbed. This is a feeling present in the halogens. Because of this, they won't give whatever the love affection that needed by natrum. Always there will be frustrated feeling in halogen part we see. These anger issues we see because how much I need to sacrifice, how much I need to give. Why they will give? Because they have that fear of instability. These anion part having the fear of instability. Because of this, they make all these things. Chlorine is deeper in relationship. Deeper in relationship. We have studied that anion part is very hold back thing, tighter, denser because their electrons are more. Whatever the issue, they handle very much. They have deep intensified things. Deeper in relationship. Chlorine, miraticum is deeper in relationship. So it requires relationship. They are so cautious in entering into the relationship. With background of if the relationship breaks off, I cannot take it. This is disappointment of love. These things we observe afterwards. In natrum muraticum, natrum wants to form a relationship with chlorine. Relationship, chlorine doesn't trust to form a relationship because this betrayal feeling which makes them mistrust, doesn't trust to form a relationship. Should I fall into relationship or no? If I am betrayed, these all things are present in muraticum background. So with this feeling they fall in relationship. Because of this mindset, they have this all the emotional disturbances. Rubrics dwells events on past, disagreeable things. Natrum. So this is the gist about the Natrum muraticum. So let me see about the calcarea. Calcarea carp, how primitive they are. They are prepared from middle layer of the oyster. Backbone is the outer shell which acts as a protective mechanism. So these people looks for others people protection. So calcarea look for protection from family or other element who will give their protection. Whether it is given by the phosphorus or it is given by arsenic, it is given by sulfur, it is given by chlorine, who will give them protection. These all things background it is present for the calcarea. All the anxiety, stress, worries is about the outer material requirement. outer support, outer protection, outer security. These all things. If they don't have these things, if they don't have that protection, security in the form of money, in the form of support, in the form of guidance, anything, if they don't have, they all have this anxiety, stress, fear, worries. These all things makes a calcarea very much weak, low, weakness, these all things. Therefore, the target is the bony structure, caries of the teeth, decay of the bones, which we see in the materia medica. It is a substance that misses the calcium by itself. Sulfur would have said, I would have achieved if that is not there. When the calcarea self meets, sulfur says like this, I would have achieved if that calcarea is not there. Because of his philosophical talk, because of his electrons, his talk will be like this. They will make all sorts of excuses, and this is belongs to Soric. Calcarea and the sulfur, this ringworm miasm always makes the excuses. Carbon will give the idea of I cannot manage, I will be blank. This is how carbon is. Silica. Silica is present in the 10th column where the sharing of electrons are 4 electrons, 4 electrons, well balanced. Because of this sharing of electron, they have obstinate thing. They have the obstinate mindset. They have the timid nature. They won't take the decision very easily because of this electronic sharing. So because of this, when they comes in contact with the calcarea, how will be there? Fear of poverty is more in calcarea silicata. Rubric fear of poverty, calcarea silicata. Calcarea is also weak. Silica is balanced. With this both the element, it is very much fearful. They won't take the decision very easily. Once priced, they will confirm and take the decision. Phosphorus will be here and there with fears. Phosphorus is superficial, nothing is long lasting. So engage in today's fun. When calcarea phos combines, phosphorus having so much of electrons because of his communicative nature, it takes a calcarea. That's why here see calcarea carb is flabby, chubby, lazy, weakness because of this carbon. Very much put on weight. Calcarea carb, where we see the calcarea phos, it is thin, lean, active because of this phosphor nature. How? We have to understand these all the things. Why the calcarea carb having these symptoms? Why calcarea phos? Both calcareas are same, but difference is which element is giving them that protection. Makes all the difference. Calcarea carb, calcarea silicata, calcarea phos, calcarea sulfur. Calcarea is sensitive to criticism. Calcarea serve you back and make an attempt because of soric. Sulfur that makes them to go ahead. Calcarea fear makes them to take hold. Sulfur wants to go, but calcarea hold back. This is a thing we observe in the salts. These are two things which we observe in the salts. Carbon have no other role to play but fight for life. The struggle is for existence. Therefore, calcarea carb becomes soric. Because of this carbon nature, it is seen in soric form. So Kalias, these are the Kalias. This belongs to the fourth row. One is come from the first column, another is 15th column. Both are anxiety remedies. So much anxiety remedies because anxiety and restlessness is regard to family or the group. There is a clinging as well as a mistrust. Who is having clinging nature? It is a Kali which having the clinging nature because it wants the support from the family members, want the support from the group or the society. Whereas a mistrust, which is arsenic part, which doesn't trust the family members also. So other side, this is a people, these people are enemies. One side, they need to stay with the group or the family. Rubric, suspiciousness, mistrust, family people, Kaliyas. Both Kali and arsenic are anxious elements of the periodic table. So here, magnesium phos and the magnesium car. Magnesium have the deep 4-second feeling where nobody can understand them. And phosphorus 4-second feeling is like this, makes them cramp. Magnesium also having the 4-second feeling, whereas the phosphorus also having the 4-second feeling. This makes them crampy up. This simple tighten up their own system. Nobody is take care of me. So at least I take care of myself. This is a magnesium, orphan feeling. Phosphorus, nobody loves me, so I have to have a superficial relationship. So here the 4-second feeling is double-headed, headed by the magnesium and the headed by the phosphorus. Nothing can be done. In carbon, when it is attached to magnesium is attached to carbon, low vitality make their life lonely. They are exhausted, burnt out, cold, dull. This is a carbon nature. Magnesium have deep sense of loneliness. These aspects of magnesium carbon make them keep feeling lonely and isolated. See, isolated and the forsaken differs because of the attachment of two elements. Carbon, completely isolated feeling. Whereas the phosphorus, we see the forsaken feeling. Super isolated is a magnesium car and super forsaken is a magnesium phos. So this is a thing, these are the salts we see, some of the example. So, so let me rewind all the things what we have studied till now. So we have studied about the mineral kingdom. What is the basic understanding of the mineral kingdom? What are the things which are making the salts? Why they form the salts? What are the things forming the salts? What is the cation understanding? Anion understanding? How the chemistry, each electron, neutron, protons, electromagnetic forces, how they play important role in forming the symptoms. And later on we have seen the what are the indications of the cation, anion, salts, what we need to see in the salts. These are the things we have seen. And later we have seen that few remedies, natramure, how their dicey uh, and emotional disturbances in natramure. Later we see in the calcarea how they form with carbon, phosphorus, sulfur and silica. Whereas we have seen later kali ars. Later we have seen about the magnesium phos and the magnesium car. These are the in brief about the salt. I hope you all understood about the salts and the mineral kingdom. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Uh, Thank you, sir, Shekhar sir, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you, Sivaraj Homeopathic Medical College and Institution for giving me these opportunities, and Dr. Sivaraj Sanjay sir, Chairman. Thank you for these opportunities. Managing Director Sivaraj Kalpana ma'am for giving this opportunity, and Professor Principal Professor Dr. G. Kannan sir for giving this opportunity. And thank you. And now, if anyone having any doubts, they can come with their doubts.
Thank you, Doctor. Such an
And thank you,
amazing
Kirtika
session.
ma'am.
Yes, you have such a deep knowledge, and it's amazing. It's amazing. The product of Swara Gurukul, how it could be. You are such an example for it, and amazing session. You took time to explain from chemistry to personality. Very, very great. Grateful efforts. Even your slides are also very much effective. Thank you so much, sir. At this age, it shows your passion towards the system and learning everything. We have benefited a lot with your teachings, and I would like to have some more. When time permits, please find some time for us and explain about the other things in the periodic table. Thank you, my sir.
Always welcome. Always welcome, ma'am.
Yes.
Any doubts? Always welcome. Thank you for your feedbacks. Fear of losing position is from which salts? Fear of losing position. It deals with the position wherever they are present. Position in relationship, or position in society, or position in society. When comes to society, it's comes with deals with the sixth row or the fourth row. Position in the family members or in the society, how they are dealing with that position. This deals with the position in society, how they are, like we see the Calcaria, Kali. Kali deals, it is duty oriented. Why Kali does that much duty oriented? Because Kali needs support from their family members or the society. Because of for these things, he does so much of duty, so much of work, so much of task oriented. Whenever he doesn't get that support, he doesn't get that support. If he doesn't do his work very clearly, then he develops that fear, that insecurity nature. If I doesn't do my work properly, I will lose my support. I will lose my position in society, whatever support given by society. In this way, we can understand this position in society. So, alumina silicata, it comes with the third column and the tenth column. And both have the identity issue where there are so much of confusion. Alumina is very much confusion in nature. Because they are developing, just now they are developing their capacity to deal with that identity issue, whether I take the decision or not. This is the alumina part. We see silica is well balanced one, because of their sharing of electrons, equal sharing of electrons in their outermost shell. They are well balanced with their identity issue. So this thing we observe in the alumina silicata. Can we take position in society same as fame and name? Yeah, fame and name. It deals with the identity issue. And from the society also. And from the society also we can take fame in the form of what? We have to see. Name for the sake. Background, what is there? It is all about the identity he is needing. Respect. Yes. We have to see this thing also. Respect, identity. So third one. Third row. It belongs to third row. What making him to seek for that respect? This also important. Please detail need of rose and how it can be manifested with an example. Detail need of the rose and how it can be manifested. Yes, sir. Uh, Sajini. So here we have to see that rose understanding, whatever the rose understanding, the identity issues, love, care, affection, identity, whatever comes in that. Same example, we can take same example of the natrum muraticum, the identity in the love, identity in the affection, whatever the given by the natrum and the muraticum, who is who is giving that identity? This natrum doesn't have identity. The muraticum part is giving the identity. So muraticum also taking that one electron, whatever the stability it requires. In this way, we have to understand the row issues. Where comes to Kali Ars also. The Kali and the arsenic responsibility. This is a row issue. This is a row issue. How they are dealing with this issue, it depends upon their electronic configuration, electrons in their outer shell. Source books to understand these salts. Majorly from the Swara Homeo Gurukul. After attending the Gurukul seminars, we we come to know, we learn many dimension of the remedies, whatever may be. It is plant, animal, and the minerals, whatever may. After attending the Swara Gurukul, we came to know these much things. Whatever the knowledge, it is because of the Swara Gurukul. Source books are, we are having already books and the lectures of the SARs also present in the pen drives. If you want it, you can contact the Swara Homeo Gurukul, so you can get it in pen drives also. So other than this, there are the Shankaran sir book and the Jan Scholten sir book on the periodic table. And one more book is Homeopathic Patterns by Bhavisha Joshi. Here are the some other books which can be helpful for understanding of the salts. Yeah, Rajan Shankaran sir. I hope everyone understood well and doubt for both of times.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your patience, even in answering questions also. Thank you. You are fully in a giving mood today. Thank you. Yes, yes, very nice to hear from you. Thanks to all the participants, and we thank our principal, sir, once again for this wonderful opportunity. It's helping both students, practitioners, faculties, all are getting benefited from this platform. So stay tuned for further webinars of Swara Gurukul, and the link will be shared a day before the webinars. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.